Yeah, Elon, you've spoken about this often, which is expanding the scope of consciousness and how it is tied to multiplanetary life. Could you explain what that means for you and why that matters to you?
Sure. Well, so originally I had sort of kind of an existential crisis when I was a kid, trying to figure out what's the meaning of life, why are we here, what's the point of it all, is it all meaningless? I got quite depressed actually and sad about it, and then the thing that kind of broke me out of it was reading Douglas Adams's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Yeah.
where he essentially pointed out that the universe is the answer, and really the hard part is figuring out what questions to ask about the answer that is the universe. So, yeah, exactly. He was exactly trying to make fun of the fact that the answer is the easy part, but the questions are the hard part. So, in order for us to gain a better understanding of what questions to ask or to understand what it's all about, we have to increase the scope and scale of consciousness so that we're better able to figure out which questions to ask and answer them. So the longer, the broader in scope, larger in scale that consciousness is, the more likely we are to be able to answer these questions and figure out what the heck's going on. Why are we here? To answer the fundamental questions. And I think there's arguably a great filter that we face with, will we become a multi-planet species or not? We'd be surprised if out there in our galaxy and others that there are a whole bunch of dead one-planet civilizations that prospered for a while. They might have prospered for millions of years, but then gradually the civilization collapsed for reasons external or internal, and that was that. All civilizations go through an arc where they go up in technology complexity, but then they don't keep going up. Over time they decline, they fall. And this has happened obviously if you're a student of history, with many civilizations in the past. You can look at ancient Egypt. 5,000 years ago there was the Great Pyramid of Giza, but then the people living there forgot how to build pyramids after a while, and then they forgot how to read hieroglyphics. There's obviously Gibbon's famous book about the decline and fall of the Roman Empire, and how they had advanced technology in terms of roads, aqueducts, plumbing, and so forth, and then they basically people forgot about it. The ancient Sumerians, Babylonians, all these things they've all gone through a similar arc, which suggests that most likely we will go through such an arc ourselves, and we'll be arguably less resilient to recovery because of globalization. So I think for the first time in the 4.5 billion year history of Earth, it has been possible to extend life beyond Earth and make life multiplanetary. And this window of opportunity may be open for a long time. I hope it is, or it may be open for a short time. And I think it would be wise for us to assume that it's open for a short time. I'm an optimist, not a pessimist, but you have to say, like, there's some chance it's only open for a short time, and we should take advantage of this brief window of opening where we can transport life to make life multiplanetary, and humanity is essentially the agent of life in this process. And I think we almost have an obligation to ensure that the creatures of Earth continue, even if there is a calamity on Earth, which, as I said, could be man-made or it could be some natural calamity. As if you look at the fossil record, there are many mass extinctions.
Yeah.